Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the 1878 FM podcast. It is episode 35. And we are recording this on the day after Everton have put in their best performance for you know what, I'm going to go there, a number of years. Away from home. It is. It's a huge. I get that.
Of years
it's a bold statement.
I mean, it's vague as well. Isn't
It is vague.
That's what I like. It's
vague.
Bold and vague.
It's our best away performance, certainly since we beat Burnley 5-1 on Boxing Day when Sean Dyche.
Do you know what bold and vague? That reminds me of Mike Cosgrove, one of our listeners.
He was very, very bold and very, very vague at the same time. You know what? Hang on. I don't know whether you've seen any of this, Dave, but Mike was on the Final Word last week. And he made a statement, and I understood what he meant. But the way he said it meant it was very easy to clip up and put out.
Yeah.
So Mike basically said on last week's Final Word, if Everton got themselves out the bottom three, they'd stay up.
Yeah.
That was his line, right?
Yeah,
I think what he meant was if Everton got out of the bottom three, they wouldn't slip back into it. He didn't quite dress it up that way, but that's what he meant, and that has obviously.
But that's the
shared.
situation that we find ourselves in now, isn't it? You know, and this was exactly what I was thinking last night, looking at the table over and over again. You know, after the Forest game, which is annoying actually, because I thought Southampton should have done them. But anyway, it's now it's ours to lose, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like now that we're out, it's now a situation of not slipping back in there, which I know is easier said than done. But that's where we find ourselves, because at this moment in time, we are safe.
Yeah,
albeit just.
Absolutely. Well, before we go into our discussion about last night, our esteemed colleague on this show is not here again.
Guest star,
guest star. Yeah, at this rate, he's taking up.
I'm not even sure that he gets a squad position anymore. Does he?
He's a cameo.
It's a cameo.
Word up.
Yeah, yes, he's gone full. The chain codpiece is there with the. I can see Bush in the chain codpiece, to be honest. But this is Andy Bush's thoughts about last night's victory at Brighton.
Hey boys, it's Bush up the Toffees. Hope you're doing okay. Sorry, I am not with you today. I've just finished doing the school run, and then I've got to head into London because I've got loads of early meetings and everything. So I can't be there. I am Calvert-Lewin in it today, but they're in spirit. Speaking of Calvert-Lewin, what an amazing performance. I still can't get over it. I literally cannot get over last night's game. It's just unbelievable. Maybe this is the Everton we've all been waiting to see. But just on all levels, they were fantastic. I had Yerry Mina down as doing his typical thing where he comes on for 15 minutes of shithousery and then limps off like he's followed through. But he was just brilliant. Monumental, great with Tarkowski at the back. Calvert-Lewin was fantastic, spearheading the attack. Doucoure, brilliant. Iwobi was amazing. McNeil, I remember when he scored that goal against Blackpool in a friendly, and I thought, this is it, he's going to be brilliant. And he was crap for ages, and I just feel like he's just starting to come out of his shell a little bit. So just totally unexpected. Forest winning was a pain in the arse, but I don't want to speak too soon. I kind of feel like maybe Leeds, Southampton and Leicester are just worse than we are, and that's what's going to do it. But I don't know, I'm not saying we're going to beat Man City, but I feel like we'll give Man City more of a game than I thought we were going to give them. So yeah, I don't know, optimistic. It's nice to have an optimistic day after a Blues game. So yeah, lots to talk about in the podcast, I'm sure.
There you go. That was Mr. Bush's thoughts. Called that we had a Yerry Mina was his first one, and then Yerry Mina walks off like he's followed through. Normally, interesting observation, but obviously, clearly delighted. But Dave, I mean, to go to what was obviously probably one of the toughest fixtures we could have picked at this time, the way everything was going, and for Everton to dismantle them by 5-1 was quite some performance, really, wasn't it?
Well, it was twofold, wasn't it? I mean, they were particularly bad, especially in the first half, and you know they were certainly better in the second half after those 4 substitutions. But Everton were just very, very good, you know, and I genuinely, not just because of the result, I think that's our best side in terms of what we have at the moment. You know, what he put out, I think, is the best combination of what we have at our sort of fairly limited disposal. But yeah, just things worked, and there was a lot of good performances out there, and it does make you question. I know obviously Dominic's been injured, and he was a key part of it because he was a focal point up front, and he changes the structure of the side because they have a point to aim for, but it does make you question where some of those performances were back in October and November and whatnot, and if they played anything like that for even a portion of the games, they'd never be in the situation that they find themselves in now. But it was just really, really good to see. We're not out of the woods yet, but I think one more win would see us safe.
Yeah,
I really do.
Southampton are gone now, aren't they?
Southampton are gone. Even though, as I say, we could have done with Southampton getting 3 points last night to have kept Forest down there. But yeah, Southampton are gone. I mean, they've still got 24 points, haven't they? So yeah, but listen, it was good to see, and it's given us some hope, because I think if we didn't, if we got beat there last night, I think you'd have to fear the worst, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because if you'd have said like we drew at Brighton and drew at City, we'd be like, we'll take that all day. Because you've said for ages,
isn't that a bad mentality that we've got ourselves into?
No, but what I'm saying is, you've said for a while, if we can just keep ourselves alive long enough for those final two games, 2 points would have done that.
Yeah.
But actually, a point's up on that already.
Yeah, but that's the point.
We're gonna be alive.
We
them
do have
two
that
games.
mentality, don't we? We've had this mentality at Everton for quite some time. That
results have been the reason why.
No,
mate,
for a very long time. I'm talking a long time. Like I'm talking like David Moyes era as well on this, where we were happier to not be beaten than to win one, lose one.
Yeah.
And I think Bournemouth have shown it recently that I think they've won 6 out of the last 9, and they think they've lost the other 3 because they've gone for it and they've got the wins, and that gets you up 3 points. Is much more important than a couple, obviously than staying unbeaten with draws. So. That I've said it for the last few weeks. We had to start going for games of football. Palace, we should have gone for it. Leicester towards the end, I think we should have been. That's why I think people were critical of his subs. And I think last night we went for it from the start, and we got our just rewards. And we scored. Obviously, we scored the 4th and the 5th at the right time. I mean. Can you think of any other team that would be 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go where as a fan you'd be shitting it?
I'm shitting it when they went 4-1.
No, I know.
When it went 4-1, I'm shitting it. Thinking if they get another one now.
I know.
Yeah. And me as well. Most people would sit there, comfortably thinking, this is done. This is put to bed. I mean, nobody loses a 3-goal cushion. But I was sitting there as well thinking, we could still fuck this up. Yeah, you really could.
And
I was saying to me dad, we've just got to play in 10-minute blocks now. We literally have got to get through.
And the time is going by like it was Interstellar.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I started to relax on 80 minutes.
I'll tell you when I relaxed. When McNeil smashed the 5th into the roof of the net.
I didn't enjoy the second half at all because it was it just felt so pressurised.
It's because you've got something to throw
you've got
away,
something, and it was.
That's what it was.
But it was you're absolutely right, Dave. That's our best 11, and I'm so happy that Sean Dyche took the advice.
Has now found it just in time, hopefully.
He took the advice of every single fan that's got eyes. Yeah. And some without eyes. I'm not discriminating. And put Yerry Mina back on the side because
he made a huge difference.
Yeah, he was from winding people up to just getting in the face of people, even the referee.
Referee was a knobhead, by the way.
I actually thought the referee refed it quite
well. He refed
the
second half well.
Apart from the
Buenaventure or whatever his name is, at 9 fouls.
I know. He was actually quite good because for one of our goals, it was a foul on one of our players early on, and he let it go.
It was the bookings, I meant. The booking. He booked Mina for literally nothing.
No, I know. That was the only one. I've made up.
And the Calvert-Lewin one, that's fine. Right? It was a booking, but the same. The move was from our free kick when the lad jumped in on Garner. It was the same tackle. It was even that. I mean, Sean Dyche was fuming.
It was
with the thing.
I was relieved actually when the Dominic Calvert-Lewin one was just a yellow for a second. I thought he'd caught him. No, it was a brilliant performance because we got out the. There's always that thing of scoring too early, but can't score 5 if you don't score the first one, can you? So it was all round brilliant, and second half we knew we were going to be under the cosh. Jordan Pickford as a worldie as well. The centre backs were brilliant. Patterson grew into the game after a little bit of a shaky start.
First 20 was all over the place.
Iwobi did well to get us up the field. McNeil was clinical, but I also liked McNeil's defending. I thought his defending was absolutely brilliant. That's what made his performance so good. And all around the pitch, we were just, and Doucoure doing what a midfielder who breaks is supposed to do. And first half, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was absolutely unplayable. Unplayable first half.
We ended up with 3. We could have had 5.
Go on, Dave.
But do you know what the big difference was for me? And we've seen it so many times where we've had good performances in spells of games, right? Not even an entire half, but we've had a good 20 minutes here or a good half an hour there. And we've had situations where we could have been and should have been 2 up or 3 up
easily,
and not taking those chances and not been clinical enough. And what I'm trying to say is what was really nice to see yesterday with that first half performance, albeit it was far better than anything that I'm alluding to before, but it's the fact that they actually took their chances. And it wasn't one of those where it's a bit like, oh, we could have been up 3-0 and then we go and get hit by a sucker punch and you rue those opportunities and you actually end up with nothing. And it was just nice to see everything go and them to come away with what they deserved, in my opinion.
Let's be honest, the Leicester game could have been the same.
Yeah.
Everton, I know, and the caveat to that is Jordan Pickford made a huge save at 2-1, by the way, that got us a draw. So fair play. It could have gone the other way. But Everton did have a number of chances to put that Leicester game to bed the other night, and he didn't. And yet he did last night. You're absolutely right, David. It's that clinicalness, and I don't know about you two, but certainly when it got into, I'll be honest, the first time I uttered the words, this is a massive 3 points to me dad, it was in the 93rd minute at 4-1, just before we made it 5, because I just didn't want to say it. And he was laughing because he said, imagine neutrals watching this, they'd have been saying at 3-0 it was over. But we'll never say that, obviously. But I also said to him, this is what it must be like watching a good team. When you can go away and just take a game away from a team. Brighton are fantastic. And I think you're being slightly harsh there, Dave, saying they were terrible. I think what happened was, because we scored so early and then rode the next 20 minutes out and made it 2-0, we just took the wind out of their sails. And what we did was we grew into the game because they play, like Ped said before, they play that game where they are wide open. Man City are very similar, but City have obviously a better version. They are wide open because they just dominate the ball and they carve you open by playing. Dyche said it after the game. They play in boxes, don't they? Barca used to do that. They have like little small-sided games all over the pitch. Brighton do it brilliantly. But because, like you said, that was our best 11, every one of them seemed to understand what the role was. James Garner, I thought, was brilliant. Just in being everywhere, pressing, everywhere. Garner, Bochum was still everywhere. So everyone had to perform, and I thought they did, and we were able to take the game away from them.
Yeah, and it was only and they continued to do the same thing as well. And we had to deal with it. It was the coming inside with the cross, and we had to deal with it every time. That's why we needed strong plays in the middle. And there was no room to carry anyone in there. And no one made any mistakes. There was no mistakes. No one, even stupid little things like miss-kicking it or not. Just everyone did their job. That's why it was so important to have someone like Yerry Mina in there who is a leader.
Doesn't allow things to get on top of him,
you can see him. He tells people, honestly, if that lad could stay fit, he wouldn't be, number one, he wouldn't be playing for Everton.
No, I agree.
But he is such a good defender. Yeah. Like a proper defender.
Was there any surprise? Tarky had his best game for ages.
Yeah. But even like there was one that come in and it was a typical one from him where he done a diving header. And I've seen him do that so many times. He doesn't take chances. No. He's not one to like other centre backs, who I'm not going to mention, might look to take that down and then it bounces off them and it gives the opportunity. He just deals with it.
Even the one he heads away, it's in. When Pickford dives, it's going in. He just puts his head in the way of the shot. It was, and it's like, but again, you're not naming names, but people know who it is. Wouldn't have done the same kind of thing.
It's just not as good, are
no.
I think. Listen, I think we're all keen not to mention any particular name here because we don't want to single anybody out. No, and I think it's important that we maintain that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Patterson deserves a big mention because I thought the first 15, 20 minutes, Mitoma, who's absolutely superb, being on fire this season. give him a little bit of a run around the opening 15 minutes, but he got to grips with it, realised I can't get too tight because he'll do me that way.
Agree
and he
with
just
me,
got
yeah.
into
Well, actually,
it and he was brilliant.
In a weird way, he was doing the right thing because he was letting them. He was letting them come inside, whereas the only time he went on the outside, he nearly got a penalty. If he'd committed
if
there,
gone down,
so for the so letting him cross and then us dealing with it. Because really, when you look at those two centre backs, they shouldn't be beaten in the air. It was only those very, very deep ones, and obviously that's what they scored from. But it was a good all round display, and you're right, Dave. What you said before, I think. I mean, you look at those fixtures now, and you think if you could just get a point out of Sunday. Just catch Man City in between the two Champions League games, grab a point off them.
They can afford to drop 1 point, can't they?
Go in those last two and think if we could get a win. 4 points, I'm thinking.
I think 3 will keep us up.
No, I know,
4
but
is what.
So do I. I think 3. I think 3 will do it personally. In terms of, I think, and this is a risky strategy to take, but that's also looking at the fixtures that Leeds and Leicester.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I watched Leicester yesterday. They were horrific.
No,
they were absolutely horrific.
I just like 4 because I don't
want
to
agree.
clench stars.
No, I know. You're absolutely right. Listen, just stun Man City with a win. That'd be the dreamland, wouldn't it? Imagine it.
I think, and I think the worry for me as well is the fact that, and granted, we're in a better place to make this comment now today after yesterday's performance. I think my concern is a lot of people saying, yeah, well, it'll all go down to the last game and we'll have to beat Bournemouth on the last day. And that worries me because Bournemouth is, as we said before, and you were saying before, Ped, they've gone for it. They've won 6 out of their last 9. And because they've got really, they attack well and they've got goal scorers. They've definitely got goals in that side. And that's what would concern me about almost putting it all down to there. Now, let's hope that we're not in that situation. For me, the one, and I agree with you, I think if we could get a point off City at the weekend, it would be great. I really, really want to go to Molineux and play like we did yesterday, because I think if we do, I think we get 3 points there as well. I mean, I know
they're safe now, aren't they?
They're safe as well. I mean, they're a difficult one to predict, Wolves, at the minute. And they've got goals in them, but I think they're definitely beatable. And I think, as I say, if we go with that side and that intensity and, that structure that we did yesterday, then I think we beat them.
I think you'd if Everton play anywhere near like.
I'm not saying we put 5 past them, but I think we beat them.
And to be fair, when you think about it, we've had under Dyche the away performance have been our best.
It's home,
performances.
isn't it?
It's been home where we're so tight.
They've lost 1 in 6 away.
The away games we've been quite.
We've lost
quite good.
1 in 6 away. We've lost 3 in 4 at home.
Yeah, we seem to play with a little bit more freedom. We play on the counter attack and what was good about yesterday was that was the first time I think that we really took advantage of the other team's results. I know Forest won,
but in one way that puts Southampton gone.
Yeah, I mean, it does. But that was the first time.
Don't get me wrong, it's rather.
That was the first time we really took advantage, though, didn't we? You see the. I mean, Man City, Jesus Christ. We're going to do your job, but that's what we should be looking for on Sunday. Is that hopefully they come into the game. But Leeds get beat, Leicester look awful, conceding goals again, and then you're thinking, Everton, come on, just give us something, get us a point, get us to 30. So to get 3 points was huge.
Fantastic, and I think you're right, Dave. I think if we go to Molineux now, they will be relaxed now. I'm saying on the beach, but they'll be relaxed. They're safe. So they've done their work. They scraped past Villa at the weekend. Villa missed a half full of chances. And hopefully we'll turn up there in a couple of weeks. And
I just don't want to need anything from the Bournemouth game.
No, I agree with you. Mate, I want to take my seat on that final day and just be relaxed and just watch a game of footy. I do believe that if Everton had to win, I think the intensity and the aggression and anger around Goodison Park would make it very difficult for Bournemouth. But I don't want to have to do that. I want to turn up, go to Wolves and just nick it, go there. We owe them. They beat us in the 96th minute or whatever it was at Goodison, so we owe them one. And they're more than beatable Wolves. More than beatable. I agree. So
well, the team we've just put 5 past, put 6 past them.
Yeah. So
it should be 11-0.
Yeah.
There you go. They'll score. Give them a goal. 11-1. So there you go. An absolutely tremendous result. Has put what we all asked for, really. We all said, if we could get to the final 2, and it's in our hands, we'd take that, wouldn't we? We've said it for weeks, and you know, we've given ourselves that opportunity now with that result last night, and you know, if other teams do what they should do, i.e. the teams above us who need points, like Newcastle go to Leeds, they need a result. They were beating their own on Sunday. They need a big result.
Leicester have got to go to Newcastle as well, haven't
Leicester
they?
have got Newcastle, and also Leicester have got Liverpool.
Forest
and then Newcastle away.
Forest have got 3
Forest have got tough games.
Forest got Arsenal, and Forest have got
Chelsea away.
Chelsea away, yeah.
Then,
Big Frank's back now. He's had the win, so he'd be relaxed. So he might get back-to-back wins.
What a guy.
So we've just got to, like you said, they put the pressure on them now, and let them think. No, they look like they might get out of it. It's the only way that we can go forward, isn't it?
As Yaz said, the only way's up.
Yaz did say that. What would the plastic population say? Would they just backing it up?
Much. No, they were just having lunch with Cold Cut.
Fair enough. I mean,
there you go.
It's
if anyone would know, Dave would know.
Dave would know. But there you go. Brighton 1, Everton 5.
But sorry, just before we finish, the last one as well. The last one.
Oh,
I mean,
hang on. Can we just have a little? We're all talking about Everton's best 11, and I'm talking about how good a game the midfield 3 didn't. Haven't had the Doucoure back. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, superb, changes the whole face of this Everton team. And yes, people who were listening, the ones who were having a go at me when I kept saying, if we can just get him back, it'll make a difference. There's your difference. Anyway, let's move on. The pass by Amadou Onana to Dwight McNeil. Wow.
But the finish, I mean,
Jeff Hurst.
It was. They think
it was. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it was immense because actually, I mean, it was a tight. I mean, he could have shot earlier as well, and you sort of thought that he would, and that was tight. But he took it on and made it even tighter.
It was. You know what was great about that? You know what was great about that? It was that thing of almost like, I'm knackered. I'm not doing anything else. Just fucking have it.
Just launch it.
Just smash it. And I said with McNeil all season, if he just simplifies his game, he's actually not a bad player. And he's been brilliant of late. He really has. He has been fantastic. If he carries on like this, I'll hold my hands up and say fair play. He's better than what I thought. He's got a lovely left foot. We know that. Earlier in the season, he didn't show it. Under Dites, he's got better and better. But that's all I want him to do. Get it out of his feet, knit it. Get out of his feet, put crosses in. But the 4th goal was brilliant as well because it was brilliant by Iwobi, great strength. Lovely little through ball, but to send the keeper the chippy. Although I was slightly concerned.
I know what you're going to say. He seemed to take a long time to put it in the net.
I was just thinking, knock it in, you've done brilliant.
So he just hit it. Because at one point I thought he was going to do that thing that people used to do at school, where he's actually going to get down on his and head it in.
Yeah.
Because he just seemed to be taking so long, and I thought something's going to go wrong here. He's going to trip over a lace or something, or hit the post.
He was just being very, very sure, wasn't he?
He was.
Like he didn't even smash it.
Take that,
he didn't even smash it, did he?
He just was full take that.
It was like the footballing father Ted. It was just like a walking football game.
The Italian style.
Just making sure it was just making sure
just
that he got
put
his
it in.
Goal, but
slightly unlucky not to be awarded a hat-trick.
No.
Okay. I mean, Dom would have tapped that in.
The shot was going to Mars.
No, it wasn't. It was going to Dom, and he'd have tapped it in.
No, he's been. I don't think it's got anything to do with Dyche. I think it's since Anthony Gordon left. I think when Anthony Gordon left, all the poison left his body, and he was just like, I'm free. It was like,
you saying like Anthony Gordon's his kryptonite almost?
Essentially, he was like, in films where like people are possessed, and then when the thing gets killed, they suddenly wake up and they're all good again. That's him. He was poisoned by Anthony Gordon's hair. And
is that what it was?
That's what it was. The dive.
The Claire Bolden effect.
The dive run, and he's been great ever since. So fair play to him.
7 goals.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, I'd love him to get another 3 and end with 10. Imagine that. And then if he could deliver that, then that's one side with goals. Then we still need. And Iwobi was brilliant. Don't get me wrong, Alex Iwobi. If you could just add some goals to your game as well, then it helps so much. But I know we were going to finish, but Abdoulaye Doucoure, Dave. I mean, the second finish with on the volley was delicious, wasn't he?
He's a good player, you know, and he's one of those that I always felt. earlier on in the season, it was a real waste. The fact that he either wasn't fit or wasn't playing, or both.
Frank didn't like him. Let's be honest.
Frank didn't like him, and you knew that he was one of those players that actually, if you got him fit and you got him back, it's almost like a big signing for us. Because when he's on his game and he's box to box and he can finish, and he really is, he brings a lot. And he was a huge part of that. I mean, obviously stating the obvious, 2 goals, but even despite, regardless of the goals, he was a huge part of that yesterday. And, that's why he's instrumental in that being the best lineup that I think we have at the minute. I really do. I think he's crucial in there.
Frank wanted to give him to Fulham.
Frank wanted to let him go to Lampard.
Wanted to give.
I am going to finish the Everton stuff now, and we'll move on. But I just wanted to ask you, Ped, are we seeing now the player that we bought from Watford? Because at Watford, he had a much freer role, and it's why he got like average 6 goals a season. And yet we haven't had a midfield player that can score goals. You're 4 now for half a season, because obviously I know Frank started with him, he got injured at Villa, and that was it. But
and I think also it helps having Dom in the team, because there's so much focus on Dom as the centre forward, and then Doucoure can drift into those areas, because both of those goals yesterday, obviously the first one's an early one, and the Dom turn is fantastic, and he puts a good ball to him and he takes it. But the second one, he just drifts into a space where no one was watching him. And again, because Dom's probably in, it's a good ball by McNeil, but he drifts into a good goal scoring. He's a natural, got natural instincts to score goals. None of our midfielders really have that. And I think that's something the managers really lashed onto. And of course, don't forget our worst spell under Sean Dyche was when he was out the team and the manager didn't really have a clue what to do without him. So that all tallies together, doesn't it, really? And he can make it like almost like a 4-4-2, but then he's got the energy to get back into midfield. And like you're saying there, he's gone from being a player who wasn't getting a game and on the verge of leaving the football club to someone who could be our most important player.
Absolutely, he gives us first name.
He gives us he gives us an extra goal. But as I said, a large part of that does come from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. As I said in the first half yesterday, I thought he was absolutely magnificent, unplayable.
In his time off, he's perfected the drag back, hasn't he, Dom?
He's been working on it.
He's worked on the drag back. I've seen it at Palace.
It's just it's how he utilises space so well.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So fair play to him. He's been doing something with his time.
Maybe
that's what Townsend's been doing. Now he's back. Oh my God! He's going
to
win the lot.
If he comes,
we're not in anything. But
he could come back on the bench at Wolves, come on, and that would be perfect. Smash one in the top bin, 25-yarder. Andros just stands there like that, lad. That's what I'm.
Whatever tournament we're in Portugal in the summer, we're gonna win it. We're gonna win it.
And the Northwest Cup with Rill. You never know.
That's the you never know. Well, long as Wrexham are
on it,
we'll be all right.
We'll be all right. We are missing Mr. Bush today, but he has set us a couple of questions. So let's hear the first of those questions.
Questions for you today. First question, I'm going to talk about this on the show tonight. I've been given they've sent us a new router, wireless router, Sky have, and I'm really excited about it, even though it's incredibly boring. So I'd like to know from you guys, what is the most boring thing in your life that's new that you're the most excited about? So tell us about that. If you've got something in your life that is incredibly boring, just getting run over on a pedestrian crossing here. Incredibly boring, but you're well into it. And then the second question, since he's been spamming our WhatsApp group with loads of photos of him loitering around outside the stadiums and where they're setting up, who does Ped think is going to win the Eurovision Song Contest? We should have some kind of rundown from Ped on, like a booking form as to think who he thinks are going to be the ones to watch and who's the dark horse.
Right, I mean, I'll be honest, I expected this to be split.
Yeah.
But there you go. So the questions are, firstly...
I mean, I just heard them.
You've heard it, but I don't know whether Dave...
I wouldn't mind a refresher on that.
Right,
because
okay,
I've heard what Bush said in there, but I heard it about 3 hours before.
Yeah, no worries. But so Bush has basically said, what's the most boring thing you've been excited about? They're getting a new router into their radio station from Sky.
I think he meant at home.
I think it was at home.
Was it at home?
I think it was.
Well, wherever it is, he's getting a new router. He's gone, routers are us. And he's excited. So let's park that. We'll park that. Second question can wait. Yeah. So what is the most, like, we all have these things, don't we? You get stuff like, mine's normally, I've had with a router when you're getting a new cable box or a new phone.
Routers are good.
Phone is generally the same in it, but I do get a new phone and think, oh, I'm excited.
What I love about phones. I don't know if anyone does this. You know when you get your phone gets a new update, and you're like, what new stuff?
What is it? Yeah.
What new stuff are you gonna get with that update?
Yeah.
So that's a definite. I do like a new router.
You do like? I think we all like a new router.
Just to see what.
Do we believe that the possibilities are greater than what we've seen?
I wish we had a new router in the studio.
I wish we had a new router presenting us. Sorry, not producing the show.
Yeah, I mean the thing I'm into at the moment, I've mentioned this before, it's the flight tracker app. I just love it. I'm a sado and I have no issue.
Skyscanner, that one.
Well, mine's flight
oh, sorry,
Radar
flight
24.
Oh, okay, not Flight Radar 24. That's a good one.
Other
apps are available.
I just, anytime I'm just a sado. I have no issue with this. I'm a sado. It's my new thing. I'm walking the dog. I see a plane dead high up in the sky, and I go,
"Where's that
I
going?"
wonder where that's going. And you check it, and what I've noticed is loads of like transatlantic things go over. So I know now that there's a flight from Tel Aviv to New York that goes over my house about 2:00 in the morning.
There you
You
go.
always hear it, or when you hear a helicopter, and you're like, and a helicopter flew over my house on Saturday, dead late, and it come from Scotland, and I'm like, is that Trump?
Could be.
Is Trump flying over my house right now? And then it went missing.
What, looking for you because of your Twitter days?
No.
Oh, okay.
And many times you just
Gonna be great.
And there's one. It's Tokyo to Paris, and you're just thinking, it just gives me just
that
that little moment of a slight rush of going, that's interesting, isn't it?
But that's good.
And on a day, what's
like
great
that?
is on the app, it gives you a picture of the actual plane as well.
Is there an opportunity for us to have another additional channel with discussing this?
Do you know what, mate? There's so many channels that would be better than this. That when you go on YouTube, like there's one I was watching yesterday of some.
No, in addition to not better, different.
Can I ask a question?
We need a travel blog channel, whatever we
Absolutely.
do. And then, but the last bit is when you see the picture of the plane or the helicopter,
I like
and if
that.
it's a nice clear day, you can look up and go, oh yeah, I can see all the nice livery on it. It looks, oh yeah. That I'm a sad person.
So you're the flight. You get a new app or a router. Okay, there you
and
go.
Is that? Can I just just on that point, because I was out with somebody who was behaving in an equally alarming manner. Is this the one where you actually point your phone to the sky?
No, it's not, Dave. So basically,
that's a good one though. If it tells you.
No. But I've seen this. Unless they were having me on and like taking the mix, is that they were kind of the plane went over.
Yeah.
And they kind of pointed it towards the plane.
Yeah.
And they kind of go, okay, right. Well, that's a whatever. That's a Virgin flight to JFK. Or then there's another one. Or that's a BA flight to, Chicago O'Hare or something.
No, this is simply like if you put it on and then you press
It is Flight Radar. I asked you, was it Flight Radar?
What I said. Like you said Skyscanner.
Oh, that was the first.
So right now, because we're very close to John Lennon Airport, I can see a plane just sitting on the tarmac, and it's going to Rus. It hasn't took off yet to Ryanair. There's a plane coming over from Košice going into Liverpool. That's not far. There's one that would have flown over my house from Dublin to Liverpool. So you can just see there's a helicopter over Widnes, but I don't know where it's going and I don't know where it's been. It's a private owner.
There you go, private owner.
Basically, you just see a picture of the sky and the way the planes are, and that's it. It's very, very sad. I grant you, it's sad.
It's not sad.
But it just gives me like
you like it.
You look up and go, wonder where that's going.
Why is that sad?
And then and it's somewhere to somewhere, and it's not, and it's mad because so many go over my house or that are like Tokyo to Paris, and you're like, why is that coming here? What's going on?
Do you think, Ped, that actually your interest in this has been fueled by some of Everton's performances over the last season?
You know what?
So much as there's been several weeks and months where you've said to yourself, I need a new hobby.
Yeah.
I need something else to interest me and occupy my time because
you know what it was?
My team isn't doing it for me.
Maybe it is, but what it was there was a plane flying about 3:00 in the morning. I just happened to be opening the door to let the dog go out. And I could see, I was thinking, where is a plane going at 3:00 in the morning? And it was going to New York. It was like a DHL cargo plane. But the one thing, I'll tell you what, one thing it has helped me by. When you look at how many planes are in the sky, you think you feel a lot safer about travel.
Yeah, there's so many, it's crazy. I like it. I get it. I get it. I like it. You should go. Remember me mum and dad saying the airport.
It's very
as a kid.
But it's not. It can't be niche because this is a very good app. It can't be niche. There must be a lot of people.
We've been doing this for years. And one thing you did notice that during lockdown there was just nothing. And this guy quite clearly locked that. So there you go.
There you
Dave,
go.
have you got anything that is kind of, I don't know, man, how did Andy Bush term it?
There's a
Boring?
London to Kansas
but
City.
you're
Just gone
excited.
over. Jesus.
All right, mate. We'll save this for the new channel.
And it's a
Well,
private
listen.
jet.
All right.
Listen.
Go on,
It's
Dave.
funny you should say that, Barry, because this week is an exciting week in our household.
Okay.
And I think I can maybe top the router scenario, the
Okay.
domestic router scenario, because I live in a townhouse and we have a water pump on the top, right? So we've got an airing cupboard up the top.
Yeah.
And I guess because the water has to come up quite high, it needs a pump,
Yeah.
right, to operate the shower and the bath on the top floor.
Of course. Yeah.
Now, this pump has been faulty for a long, long time.
Right.
And has been, it gets stuck on there and it kind of goes, and it's really annoying. And there's there's a way of turning it off, right? But anyway, this has been like this for about the last 3 years. Now, to replace it would be a new pump at the cost of about £800, right? Which is a lot, plus fitting it, which I don't really want to spend. However, my plumber mate, Russ, has managed to find me a second-hand one, and he texted me earlier on, and he can either come later today or tomorrow to fit it.
Classic
so all
Russ.
in, it's going to be less than half the price, which is brilliant. And then it will revolutionize my water delivery in this house. I don't know whether water delivery is indeed a term, but you know what I mean? It's the execution of the hot and the cold water in a bathroom scenario, and it's going to be completely different now. And I am, these are potentially pedestrian and mundane kind of conversations, but for me, it's exciting, and me and my teenage daughter are very much looking forward to having this new world of water.
I think that's tremendous.
That is tremendous.
That is good because again, it's practical as well, so it's going to improve
and cash
quality
back as well.
and money back. That's to me. That's classic Russ. Yeah, that is typical Russ.
Classic
Russ.
Russ.
He's
Absolutely.
looked around and he's
this is
come
why
up
you
with
need people. You need mates in the trade.
You do. It's where the trade go.
If you fit, well, check.
I was going to say,
we don't get sponsored by them. We have no commercial overlords on this podcast. So, but we would like commercial overlords on this podcast.
Commercial overlord opportunities are available.
On our old radio, when we did a radio show, that was our slogan: no commercial overlords. And we were like, we'd love to have some. Now I love stuff like it's like it's like when I got me. It's the excitement you feel when you put your air fryer on. It's the excitement of it's like it's the scene in Step Brothers when Will Ferrell walks out the shop with all the toilet roll and like he's adulting, punches the sky. He's doing those little adult things. So
listen, air fryer wise, I nearly got one yesterday.
Oh, why nearly?
Well, no. Hear me out, because I think that you will ultimately congratulate me on making the right decision. What happened was I got an email yesterday. And supposedly from Argos saying that I had won an air fryer and all I had to do was pay for the delivery of the air fryer. Yeah. I thought this is good, and it was a Ninja, which I know is a good one, is a good brand, right?
Was the email from Nigeria?
No, it wasn't from Nigeria.
Okay, fair
anyway, so I went through and it said, and I thought, I know I was gonna. So I filled in my details, and then I had to go on to another third-party site, and then I started to think. I thought, no, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. And then I went on the actual Argos site and actually looked at their competitions, because apparently anything that's live will be on there. Yeah. I thought, I'm not happy with this, so I pulled out, so to speak, and I didn't go through with this situation because I didn't want to give my card details to pay for the postage and packing, because I thought it's probably a scam.
There's no point ever just putting the tip in, Dave.
Never.
It doesn't satisfy anybody.
No. Go full.
You're right.
Go all in or none.
All in or not at all. Exactly. And that's my motto.
I would have thought a man in your position, a man like you. A man like Dave. Could ring somebody who could ring up Ninja and get you a Ninja just to say, I'm Dave Vitti and I use air fryers.
Dave Vitti.
I wouldn't go as far as saying I love it so much that I bought the company.
No.
No. But I would have thought a man, certainly a man in a townhouse as well.
I would say
a man
that
in a townhouse.
A man like Dave could contact people and say, I've been on Dancing on Ice, I've done Hole in the Wall or whatever. I was on, I was one of the top.
I mean, he was
the top radio.
He was the producer of the biggest radio station behind BBC Two's breakfast show.
He could do all of this, and I'm sure someone would send an air fryer.
You see, I beg to differ because I don't think anybody gives a toss what I think about their air fryer.
I don't know.
Frankly, and plus also, I mean, I say my brother-in-law over the road from me, he's got a Ninja one. So if I did want to go and try it, then I could go over there, or indeed even better than that, I could go over there and get him to cook for me.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan.
That's the win-win.
And if I eat over there, they do the washing up. Cash back.
Yeah, but if you were to also ask for
can't Russ get you one?
A thing.
No, he's more plumbing.
I know, but listen, Russ,
more plumbing than frying.
Russ to me sounds like he's got. I think he's got integrations in all kinds.
I would have thought in a small village, you have to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
you have to have access to all these things.
Are you not pigeonholing Russ there? Can Russ not be the conduit? See what I did there? To other stuff. No. Okay.
Well, he's more of a plumbing and heating kind of guy.
Okay.
But he knows people.
Exactly.
I don't mean that in a sinister way.
No,
but he knows people.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that just his name, the plumber? Or is that just like that's a
bit like the craze used to know dentist friends?
Yeah, you're gonna
but we're with the plumber. The plumber
gets a big suction thing on this one.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Get on to some of the.
Well, aren't we doing the second question?
We're finishing with the second one. The second one closes the show. Right, so you go back to there. Right,
so
Mark
Ned's gone early in sense is what you're saying.
Well, classic Ned. Mark Mack says ask Bush and Vitty, but Bush isn't here, so we'll ask Big DV. Everton asked you to do a DJ set to open the new stadium. What is the first and last song you play?
I don't like these questions because these are ones that really you should think about.
It would be good if, like, Baz did give us a little bit of warning, wouldn't it?
No, just
a bit of pre-planning.
First and last one to
having to think.
I know, but thinking's not good for podcasts.
Can we answer this? Can we bounce this?
Go on then. Martin Kitney.
I'm going to go. Sorry, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah, what are yours?
My first one would be Good Times by Chic, and my last one would be Tragedy by Steps.
Not for the new stadium, surely. Surely that's got to be up. Goodison, yeah.
Okay.
The last day at Goodison, yeah.
So now you're telling me what to think?
Yeah. Martin Kitney says, what food, meal plus drink would you choose if you could only eat one and drink one for the rest of your life?
What food or meal if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life?
And what drink? If you could only drink one drink for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, okay, on the food front, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I mean, anything you would get sick of day upon day upon day. But I suppose this is more. I'm going to use this as more like what would my final meal be?
Okay,
it would probably be something like a shepherd's pie. You know.
Okay, interesting.
You know, I love a good shepherd's pie.
Yeah. Okay.
So
would you accompany that with, Dave? With what drink?
Well, if it was sort of final meal shepherd's pie stuff, I think it'd be a nice glass of red wine or something like that.
Lovely.
But again, you don't want to be doing that on a daily basis. I don't really have a favorite drink, to be honest with you. Not if I had to pick something that I had to drink every day, other than water or like blackcurrant squash.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Drink. I'm gonna go for cherry Pepsi Max.
Nice.
Diet, of course.
Yeah,
well, it's diet. Pepsi Max, of course. And final meal, probably a really, really, really good burger. Just a really.
You like your burger?
A really standard, isn't it? Just a really good burger, like a proper good burger.
Okay.
With all the accompanying.
I'd have nice steak and kidney pie.
No, you can't have offal.
No, a nice steak, kidney pie. Or steak pie, steak and ale pie. There you go.
Steak and ale, yeah.
Steak and ale pie and a Dr. Pepper Zero.
My missus wouldn't buy me a steak and ale pie yesterday because she said you're off the ale.
Oh, tell her to behave.
I was like, shut up.
Stuart Thompson said, who is the coolest film character of all time? You can't have Mr. Freeze.
The coolest? I mean,
see what Stuart did there.
Do you know,
Steve McQueen springs to mind, doesn't he?
But he's not a character, though, is he? He's a human being.
Oh, true.
Unless you're talking about Steve McQueen being played in the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by
I'm going
Damien. What's his name from
Lewis.
Band of Brothers? Lewis, yeah.
I'm going Maverick. I'm going Tom Cruise from.
I've got it all. I've got you all beaten.
Go on then.
Mr. Wolf. in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, he is brilliant, but I'm
He's
still
the
going.
coolest.
I'm going Cruise. Have you got one, Dave?
No.
No.
But
Okay,
isn't
Sam.
Tom Cruise just playing Tom Cruise?
I don't know. Is he that cool in real life? I don't know.
Like he done a thing for the thing, didn't he? Over the weekend.
For the thing, yeah.
For the
other thing.
He did for the awards. He took his award, MTV Movie Award, by going, thanks, I'm flying a plane, and then did a pull off.
Yeah.
And then he done the same thing for King Charles, saying, well done on being born to a other royal person. And flew off. I don't know whether he just dubbed it over.
He might have just dubbed it. Who knows? Dubs.
There you go.
Alex Dowling said, if you were a soup, which soup would you be?
Oh, I mean, that's a really stupid question.
It is.
Really doesn't have an answer.
Just give any answer.
Which soup would you be?
I'm going vegetable.
I like vegetable.
For you. There you go.
I like vegetable, but there's a cafe near us that does a really good lentil and bacon soup, and they often have it as a special on a Friday. So I'm going to go lentil and bacon.
It's not special if it's every Friday, though, is it?
It's special because once a week.
I don't know. I'm going to go with pea and ham.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Will Gregg, your defence is terrified, says, do you think humans will ever colonise another planet?
Yes, they'll have to.
Okay.
They'll actually start by colonising one of the moons of Saturn. No, not Saturn. The other Jupiter. Yeah, Titan.
Okay.
It's Titan, they reckon, is the best one
to colonise.
Because when the sun starts expanding, it will get the same heat as what the Earth gets now. So that is the first one they're looking at.
Titan.
That's what I got told anyway.
Sounds.
Titan.
Dave,
and they've already got bars named after them.
Okay.
Yes.
They have.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I think there's a certain inevitability about the fact that it will have to happen at some point, but we just don't know when.
Not yet.
Okay, this is a yes, no.
I mean, not before the end of the season.
No. So this is a yes, no. Lionsy, afternoon, lads and fellow blues. Go on then. Who saw our magnificent win? Not that. Do you now think we stay up? Yes or no?
Maybe.
Dave?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say
I mean, I don't want that to come back.
No, leave it. Let's just move on.
If I had to go yes or no, then I'm going to say yes.
I'm saying yes. Matt Thomason, or Thomason, says, who would win in a Royal Rumble match between monarchs, past and present?
I mean, to be fair, some of the monarchs are some of the worst people who ever lived when you think about what they've done. So I don't think it's going to be any of the modern ones, is it?
So the old ones.
Some of the old
ones. Yeah, we'll have a universal agreement. He loved it. He loved it.
He's a big fella.
Wavy Davy says, a question for the Easter egg thief. I think that's you, Dave.
Oh, that'll be me.
When do you expect your daughter will start talking to you again? Is there any update on the whisper egg and the replacement whispers?
Well, interesting question. Thank you, Wavy Davy, for that. I'd forgotten because, so since she's been back from her mum's, which is where she was last week, I don't think she's noticed the fact that I've eaten her whisper Easter egg, and I haven't brought it up. So I've actually, I mean, the thing is, if she goes in the recycling, so the recycling goes out tonight. It's normally like a Monday night into a Tuesday, but obviously with a bank holiday, it goes a day later. So it'll be a Tuesday into Wednesday. So this week is recycling. So as long as she doesn't check in the recycling, she won't see the flattened box that I put in there. And I think I should be in the clear. So far, so good. And I think that she's more distracted by her GCSEs actually, which start end of this week, early next. But thank you for asking, Wavy David. But I think I'm in the clear.
Fair play, super. Paul Catzel says, what music would you choose to play every time you walk into a room? Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one.
Just while you think about that,
should we park that?
Park it
till next
just,
week.
On that note, there's a mate of mine, and what he does is that when he goes round to these other friends of ours, is that he's got one of these Sonos speakers,
right?
Whereby if you've got the app.
Yeah.
Right. If you've got it at home, and if I come round to your house and you've got it as well, as long as I'm connected to your Wi-Fi, then I can operate your speaker. Right. So what he does is he comes round and he stands on the front door. He just sort of holds his phone there till his phone connects to his mate's Wi-Fi inside, and then he's got complete control. So then he can kind of play his walk-on music. So then he can kind of like play Eye of the Tiger or whatever, as then, it's a bit like, oh, well, he's here now, because here's his bit like the darts players have when they come out.
You sure this is not you, Dave?
Game. No.
Is this a friend of mine? Dave.
No. What you mean, like an asking for a friend way? No, this is genuinely.
Okay, well, it's not, fair play. He sounds quite a character. It isn't Russ,
I just changed the Wi-Fi password.
It's not Russ.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that that's in one of the films, isn't it, where the kid pulls up and puts the family watching telly and he puts porn on the telly. through his phone in one of the films. Quite funny.
Sure, that was in a film.
Yeah. That wasn't
asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Paul Catzel says, do you eat soup or drink it? I eat soup. I don't drink soup. I don't drink soup.
How could you eat when it's got big chunks of meat in it?
No, how could you drink it? You mean when it's got big chunks?
That's what I just said.
Put on an Paul.
I think it's somewhere in between, personally.
Right, I'm going to ask one more. And
What?
then,
then I got to go.
The rest are getting parked till next week, and I'll put them on the agenda for next week. Benjamin Fairclough said, if you had Twitter when you were in your early 20s, what would you be posting? I'd probably be making lots of comments that I now realise you shouldn't make. But
I think it's a good thing that we didn't have.
When you think of how times have changed in that space of time,
and you see,
certainly for me, from the late 90s.
But I think when you're on Twitter, you see how many people are in their early 20s with some of the absolute nonsense.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that. It's
and the brains have
terminology that's changed. There will have been terminology that would have been acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, and this is the thing about everything. This is why you do look at things, and I don't understand why people aren't allowed to make mistakes in life with what they say, because you know things change. It's like when my missus been rewatching like Brookside on it's on like the ITV player or whatever. Sorry, like the Channel 4 version, and it comes up at the beginning, disclaimer, like the things that were said in this, and that's to me, that's exactly what it should be. You shouldn't be cutting those things out as such. You should just be educating people, going, this is what people said around that time for different things. And we live and we learn and we grow and we will. No one should be held absolutely accountable, not unless it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, of course.
There will have been words that we will have said that now you look back and going, oh my God, you can't say that.
Absolutely. Right, let's finish with the question from Andy Bush, part 2. You were obvious. It is Eurovision this week. It is a big thing. It's buzzing down at the docks. It's the great stuff that you put some great pictures up. The weather's been lovely, mostly. Bank Holiday Monday wasn't. But Andy Bush basically wants you to give some tips. Who should we be looking out for this weekend for Eurovision? He wants the ped tips.
I believe, Andy, the semi-finals start tonight, Tuesday. So, get involved in that. They are live on the BBC. So, get involved. I believe Sweden is the one to watch. But I've not done too much research on it because I like the element of surprise.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in knowing who all...
No.
Because where would be the fun in that? The fun of Eurovision is being surprised by the songs and by the acts and how mad they are or how good they are. So I have not dipped my toe too much. I imagine Sweden are high on the list. I imagine the British entry is probably also maybe the dark horse as well. So, but I will just watch it as it unfolds, and rather than trying to find out too much. Very much like a World Cup in the 80s or the 90s.
You just want that surprise.
You just want that surprise and just see a player and go, ooh, I don't want to know the XG of the French
Armenian.
Exactly. I want to be surprised by them.
Dave, if you just without having any inside information, obviously. Who do you think may be worth an outside bet this weekend for Eurovision?
Finland for me. Finland.
Which Finland? See, Finland are all.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they're all.
Yeah, that's my top tip.
He's gone in there.
You've gone with it.
He's gone.
Okay, I'm going to say Spain.
Spain are
very much
like the football.
Yeah.
They have
They've underachieved, and I just feel like now might be Spain's
time. Might be the time. It might be.
And then as an outside bet, I think,
Are you just naming countries now?
Norway.
Yeah, just naming countries.
What do you want me to do? I'm not following. I haven't phoned the piv and gone, listen, have you got the XG of Finland? Have you got the XG of Georgia? How are they going to perform? So I'm just going to say, I just feel like those two countries have got an opportunity. Spain.
They've all got an opportunity.
But Spain, like you've rightly said, have underperformed at this level.
They have underperformed.
You've got to think, can they do it on a warm, balmy Saturday night in Liverpool? Who knows?
I don't know whether it will be warm or... Well, is Liverpool warm and balmy if you're from Spain?
No, it's probably freezing.
No.
But it is to us because it's going to be.
If you're from Finland, though,
if you're from
Finland, it's a warm bar.
That's what makes the event so good. See,
You never know.
You just can't. You just never know. I mean, they probably do know, but you just can't tell.
So you're Sweden. I mean, Sweden have got history, haven't they? They'll look ABBA, arguably the greatest ever. So, that's you're banking on that.
They take it very seriously.
They do take it very seriously.
It's almost like a national event.
I'd love Iceland to win it, as Will Ferrell will be there with his mum. I would love Iceland to be there, giving it the ya ding dong.
Exactly.
Because what a film that. Have you seen that film, Dave?
No, what are we talking about?
Eurovision,
I mean,
literally called the clue. The
No.
I think Dave tuned out there.
I would like you to watch Eurovision before Saturday.
Honestly,
Will Ferrell's in it.
It's a film, is it?
It's a film.
On Netflix, yeah.
It's on Netflix, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Dave Vitti with his finger on the pulse there.
Yeah, ding dong, yeah. Dave, David fell
It is
asleep.
really funny.
No,
And
it's brilliant,
It's
Dave.
got some really.
Well,
big-
listen. That'll be my homework. As soon as I finish Colin from Accounts, I'll watch it.
Do it. It's brilliant, honestly.
It's well worth an hour and a half of your life.
Right, let's leave it there. On the podcast that talked about Everton winning 5-1 away. Outstanding.
Savouring.
Big thanks to Dave.
Enter
Big
this one
thanks
for
to the
awards.
Bushmeister General for his video as well. He'll hopefully be back with us next week. Thank you all for listening. Give it a 5-star review. Give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll be back next week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.